Hi, this is Kylie. Welcome to my studio. So, a little bit of a different video today. ARTEZA recently contacted me and asked if I would do a review of some of the products. Now, I was really happy to accept because I've seen ARTEZA products around a lot, but I haven't actually tried them. So to have the opportunity to review them, I just felt was really a great way to try them out. So what I want to do today is to tell you, to begin with, a little bit about the products that I'm going to be testing. Then I'm actually going to put them to the test by using them. And finally, I'll say a little bit about whether or not I think they are value for money. And by value for money, I mean I'll be looking at the balance between cost, between quality, and whether or not they're fit for purpose and kind of meet my needs. So the first product I have is a set of 14 acrylic colours. The tubes are all 120 mils each, which is 4.06 fluid ounces. They come in this strong box, which would be ideal for keeping them in if you didn't want to store them anywhere else. I think I may well keep them in this box meantime. Lots of information on the back. You can quickly see the colours and the colour names, and it tells you whether or not they are opaque or kind of semi-transparent or transparent. It also gives the light fastness, so in other words, how well they will stand up to UV light. And it gives you information on the pigment number. And more information on pigments can be found online. And there's also some helpful links to tips, etc. for using them. So all the information that you need about them conforming to standards. So opening the box, and you'll see that they are separated by a simple cardboard inner. And as I say, I'm quite happy with the box. It's a nice sturdy box, so I may well keep them in here. So let's take a look at the colours that come in the box. I'll start with the two neutrals that you would expect to find in any set of paints, a black and a white, and these are Mars Black and Titanium White. There's one transparent paint, and that is Ultramarine. Moving on to the semi-transparent or semi-opaque, depending on how you want to look at it, we have Pale Green, Phthalo Blue, Scarlet Red, Silver, Lemon Yellow, Gold, and Phthalo Green. Then on to the opaques, and we have Crimson Red, Yellow Ochre, Burnt Umber, and Burnt Sienna. And all the information that's on the box is also contained on each of the tubes. So we'll look at the other products that I'm reviewing before I actually put these to the test by using them. My next item are these mixed media pads. Now I've had to show these sideways on the screen because they are large. They are A3 size, and there are 60 sheets in each pad, and you get 2 pads in the pack. So A3 is 11.7 inches by 16.5 inches. They are 180 GSM, which equates to £110. So all in all, in the pack, you're getting 120 sheets of paper at A3 size. And I would often buy paper this size because I can then fold it in half and cut it down. But again, you know, there's information that you can access online about helpful tips about mixed media, etc. So when you open up, they're obviously spiral bound, and each page is perforated, so the pages could be worked on in the pad itself and then taken out. There's a textured side and a smooth side to the pages, and I have to say the texture has a nice feel to it. I certainly like working with textured paper, so I'm keen to work with these. And again, as part of the process that I'm going to do in a moment or two, I want to be testing how this paper holds up. But certainly at this size, it gives me lots of opportunity for using in different ways, cutting down into smaller journals or smaller pieces. So plenty of scope there, and a nice thick sturdy background to it. Okay, we'll move on now to the third product. So the third product that I'll be using are these water brushes, and this is a 6-pack, and you can see again there's information that you can access on helpful tips. There's 3 round brushes and 3 flat brushes of varying sizes in the set. And I just felt that this was a good size set, getting the options of the 6. Now I won't show you them all, but here's the first one, the round brush, quite a fine brush this one, and you push the water out through that mechanism there, and they are very easy to fill. So a nice tip on that one. I won't show you them all, but here's one of the flat tips. And quite a nice feel to these brushes in terms of, I like a kind of semi-firm to a firm brush, and this is reasonably firm, so a good selection of sizes. But I want to put these products to the test, and to do so I am going to create a couple of mixed media pieces. Now I will go through this very quickly because obviously the main thing is to review the products rather than doing any kind of tutorial showing how I do it. So I'm going to start by just taking one of my sheets of paper, just folded it over there and took it out, and I have put this on at speed, and then I'm just simply tearing it in half because I want to do 2 mixed media pieces almost side by side. I want to use all the paints. I'm not going to tell you every paint I'm using at every point. The main thing here was to use all the paints and see how they felt to use. I am going to put gesso on one of the sheets because I also want to see how the sheets of paper stand up to different usages, so I put gesso on one and not on the other. But I then used some matte medium to collage down some scraps of paper. The reason for this is I want to try different layers, see how the paper stands up to the different layers, doing the scraping, etc., and to see whether or not the one with the gesso works out any better than the one without the gesso. So giving the gesso a quick dry, and then I do the same on that one, just adding in some collage. I then want to colour tone each page. I'm going to use a different colour on each one. This first one I'm going to use the yellow ochre, and I'm going to mix that with some matte medium just to get the colour wash down. And on the page with gesso, I'm going to put down the phthalo green. Just the same process again of mixing the green and the matte medium together and getting the page colour toned. And then I dry both off with my heat tool. I'm then going to use some Mars Black, and what I'm going to do here is just a quick bit of stenciling. Again, my purpose for this is trying out layers of paint on top of paper, on top of the colour tone wash on top of the gesso, just seeing how all of that goes. Then I use my brayer to put a layer of white paint on. Just knocking back some of the colour, but again adding layers to this, so rollering that out very thinly. Then I wanted to make some collage by doing some gel printing. I was keen to see how the paints worked on the gel plate and how it worked with various papers on the gel plate. Now I will put the particular section on gel printing, I'll make that available in a separate video, and I will indeed also make the process of pulling together these two mixed media pieces available in a separate video, just to let you see in a bit more detail. But all I'm going to do here is to take a number of the paints and see how they roll out on the plate. Now I did notice that this side of my gel plate has some minor damage to it, some lines in it, which does affect the overall print, but that's okay. I was able to print on a wide selection of papers, got some nice collage papers here. I'll definitely be doing some more gel printing with these paints in the not too distant future. But what I want to do now is to actually use some of these on my mixed media pieces. So again, I'll show you the detail in a different video, but here I am. I'm just going to start using some matte medium to glue some of the collage down and into place. And again, this is about me testing out the paints and testing out the kind of durability of the paper, just seeing how it stands up to different treatments. I'm now just taking some of the, I think it was the gold, or it could have been the yellow ochre, and one of the reds, and again just scraping some paint on, again testing both the paint here and the paper, seeing how it will hold up, and here paint on top of paint and scratching into it. Just making lines on this one. I'd stuck a huge piece of the jelly printed paper down onto that one and just using a plastic card to make some lines, so really working this paper. Now putting down another piece of collage, and then what I'm going to do is just to take some of the paints as they come and just put them on quite thickly, really just using up some of what I had left on the palette there, and just working them round. I decide to roller some of the gold on, again just knocking back some of that. I can't help, although this was about a test, I can't help but just trying to make this into an actual mixed media piece. And then finally using some of the Mars black and then the titanium white to do some splatters, with as much landing up on myself as it did on the pages. So finally, a very quick test of the water brushes. These fill just below the push button to push the water out, and I'm sorry I didn't capture that. But here I am, I'm just using a water-soluble crayon, just pushing the water from the brush and using that to smooth out. Now, it was a very, very brief test of these. I did also try them with some ink, but I hadn't put enough ink in it, so I need to try that again sometime. So here is my final review of the products that I have had to test. And you'll see I've got the two mixed media pieces here, very much abstract pieces, but I've used a variety of techniques to test paints out, using the paints both in a thick way, in a wash, and also in terms of layering them on top of each other, and indeed on top of gesso and paper. So thinking about the paper, it has held up really well. I'm very pleased with the paper, with the way that it's held up. There is very little warping in it, despite it having a wash, it having lots of matte medium, collage, etc. added into it. It stayed very flat, and the paper performed very well, both with and without the gesso. You wouldn't actually need gesso with this paper at all. I feel that it's a good weight. I feel that it is a good paper both for being in a journal, so you could work with it in a journal itself, or indeed take it out as I did. So overall, I think it's good paper. The fact that it held up to so many things, I think it was good value for money. The brushes, I haven't had a chance to test quite as much as I would have liked to, but I do like the fact that this particular set is a set of 6. It comes in different sizes. It comes with a mixture of round brushes and flat brushes. The tops are really quite secure, so if I was out and about with these, which is the way I would mainly use water brushes, out and about, there's where it unscrews there to fill. I feel that these would be safe in a bag without them leaking, and that's the main thing for me, as I say, to take them out and about. So happy with the water brushes, happy with the paper. For me, the paints performed well, both in terms of the putting them on thick, using them on the gel plate for monoprinting, and again I'm just pulling out the colours here, just looking at the different colours. So they did perform well, they certainly meet my needs. Now, in terms of a box of 14, do I think that they are value for money? I think together as a box they provide good value for money. Buying them individually, they are more expensive. Now, the issue with a box, as I see it, is you may end up with some colours that you don't want. However, I would say that the selection of colours is good. I could see myself using these colours to mix quite a bit. I did feel that I wouldn't necessarily use each colour just straight out the tube. I would in some instances, but I would also look to mix them. So I am happy with the selection of colours. When I looked at that green in particular, I did kind of wonder about it, but again, when I've added other colours to it, I can see that for me that would be a good base for making different shades from, or making it lighter by simply adding the white. And the way they all played together on the gel plate, I think was very good. I got some interesting things coming out on the gel plate, and I really do want to put them to the test a bit more on that. So overall, what do I think about the products? I actually think they are very good. I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to try them, and I do feel they're value for money. They're not the cheapest of paints, but they are by far not the most expensive of paints. They are a good, I would say, mid-priced range, and I think the quality of them is very good. I did like the way that they behaved when I was using them in different circumstances. The paper I thought was very good, and I would definitely be buying more of that in future. As I say, the brushes I didn't test quite as much as I would have liked to, but I will test them again, but I know that I will use them for sure. Now, ARTEZA have very kindly, in return for me testing these products, and I should declare I did not pay for these products. The only thing I needed to do in exchange was one video and to give an honest opinion. But they very kindly offered a discount for a limited period for anyone else that would want to buy these, and that would be through an affiliate link. So in other words, if you were to buy some paints through the links I provide, then I would get a small commission. That does not in any way affect the price that you pay, and as I say, initially, for a limited time, there is actually a discount code available as well, and all of that will be listed underneath in the description box. Now, I can say hand on heart that I would not recommend something that I did not find myself to be value for money, and I do believe that these are good value for money. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and the review that I've given, and as I say, there'll be information in the description box below. I will put my process for creating the two mixed media pieces in a speed through video, just so that you can see all the steps, and I'll do a talk through for most of that, and I'll also show the gel printing in a bit more detail. Neither of those videos are tutorials, they are just simply to show you a bit more about how I worked with these paints. So that's basically it. I do hope you've enjoyed this, and if you do have any other questions, please just leave them below, and I'll see if I can answer them for you. Meantime, I thank you for watching, and I do hope that you will take care, and I hope to see you next video. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.